Here we go, the 7:15 final live from the Gardens this Friday night, and it's worth $250,000. One greyhound will try and add their name to an honour list that includes Miss Esme, Zipping Orlando and the champ, Valpolicella. Let's dive into it and take a look at the market. Late Night News is the current favourite, but I tell you what, I don't want anything to do with $2.20 for a dog that's going to have to come from off the pace and potentially go around a couple of greyhounds in front of it. Raiders Guide is the one for me at $3.90, much better value. A Pillar is a big watch. She's the first reserve. She's a reigning Association Cup champion from a couple of weeks ago, and we understand Time to Fire, the kennel mate, might not be 100%, so watch this with interest. And Gully Girl at $12, well, she won the Newcastle Cup about a month ago, so maybe she's the value in the race. Let's take a look at the speed map, and this isn't the be all and end all, but it certainly has been an important reference point in the 7:15 history. Miss Esme led from go to woe. Valpolicella did exactly the same, and Zipping Orlando, well, he came from just off the pace. So if you've got a dog with pace in Autumn Storm, Raiders Guide, Heart Rain or Gully Girl, you're going to put yourself in the firing line, and I reckon halfway through the race you're going to have one hand on 250 grand. So let's take a look at some of these replays from last week in the heats, and we'll start with Late Night News, the favourite. Box 6, out there in the green rug. So keep an eye on him. If you have a ticket, don't be alarmed at this stage, because this is his racing pattern. He's going to get back in the field, and then he's going to rely on some luck and some race sense to punch his way through. Right here, he puts his nose down and he gets on out after the leader in Autumn Storm, who's a really talented greyhound. There's a point here where I think Late Night News wonders if he wants to go past, and then he decides, you know what? I'm the big boy in this race. I've got the class factor and I'm going to blow on by. Autumn Storm probably doesn't have the staying chops in her just yet, but watch this. This is an explosion towards the line, and this is why he deserves favouritism. He's the best staying prospect in the race, and he's a dog that just continues to deliver for the team and has over the last 6 months. Wonderful effort for Late Night News, the reigning Summer Distance Plate winner and Country Classic runner-up. Let's take a look at my pick, Raiders Guide, the pride of Tasmania, box 6 again, and this is the winning move for him. He gets to the first bend and he says, you know what, I want the lead and I want it bad. He slices across to the rail, and this is Max Capacity in the pink rug. Now, this dog ran second in the Group 1 Association Cup just a couple of weeks ago, and he tries his heart out for this entire race to get on by, but he can't. And you know why? Raiders Guide is a tough, tenacious chaser, and he's a dual Group 1 winner for a reason over both the 600 and the 700 metres. Right here, this is where 250 grand is going to be on the line, and Raiders Guide, he's the dog I want to be with, because watch this. This is toughness personified. He punches his way to the line, and he even extends on a greyhound that has a lot of good staying metres under his legs. Raiders Guide, a wonderful training performance in just his 5th start in 2025. I think he's going to be much improved come Friday night. Let's take a look at one last replay, and it's Time to Fire, the Crow Eater from South Australia and the Damien Smith kennel. Have a look at him go in the checks. What makes this performance so impressive? First ever go over 700, and he did it after travelling from Adelaide to Newcastle, about a 26-hour round trip. And look at him go on the wet track at the Gardens last Friday night. He gets to the front, and from here, it's all over bar the shouting. I guess the query is, what sort of depth was in behind him? Gully Girl in the green bib, she won the Newcastle Cup a couple of weeks ago. It's not a bad form reference at all, but what does Time to Fire have left in the tank? He's an emerging stayer, but I question how much has this run taken out of him. Damien Smith won the Association Cup a couple of weeks ago. If he could win the 7:15 and take home $250,000, it'd be the best month of his life. Let's take a look at the pick of the orchard, who I think can win the 7:15 this Friday night. Raiders Guide out on top for Gary Fay, who's an absolute master. If he can get this dog up from last year where it ran 4th to winning this race, he will become the highest stakes earner in Tasmanian greyhound racing history. What a feather in his cap. Late Night News, I think, will run home into second. Max Capacity has barely put a paw wrong since arriving in New South Wales and can finish 3rd. And Gully Girl, as I mentioned, the value, I think, can run an improved race and finish 4th. Get on down to the Gardens this Friday night. I can't wait to see you.